Hey everybody, welcome back to Lumber Branch DIY, your DIY home fixes that save you time and money. Today we just picked up this nightstand for next to nothing. Only has a few minor things wrong with it. We're gonna refurbish it, get it ready to sell. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Let's get to it. All right, you guys, we just picked this thing up at the local Goodwill, but there's a few just minor things wrong with it. Other than that, this thing looks brand new. Let me just show you some of the things that need to be done on it, and it should be a pretty quick flip. Okay, one of the problems that we have with this is the drawer, the bottom drawer is broken. So as you can see, it won't even open. So the rails are broken. It's like coming off of the, I think it's stuck and it's actually coming off the drawer. So we've got to take those out and we've got to replace those. The other thing is part of this board right here is broken. So we've got to glue that and tack that back together. So you see that part's broken there in between the drawers. So between, the top drawer is in pretty good condition, but the bottom one, like I said, is broken. We're gonna have to replace that guy and then fix that board. Other than that, there's some minor scratches. So you can kind of see this guy right here, minor scratch. Let me move out of the, there you go, you can see that. There's a little bit of a minor scratch, but other than that, this is in pretty good condition. I also love the hardware on this. It is heavy duty hardware and it's just very, very well built. This thing's heavy, it's solid. Okay, we've got the drawers out and we can see that this guy is definitely broken right here. And so we have a couple options. It's screwed in back here. And so I can actually remove this and I'm gonna just glue it and then we're gonna do some pin nails and we'll just nail this whole thing back together so we can glue this all back up, get it nice. We could also replace this whole thing, but I don't think we're gonna need to because the glue filler, the wood glue is gonna do a great job holding that together, and then we'll just do some pin nails and we can do it from the back side here and it will hold the whole thing together. So a little bit of glue, a little bit of pin nail, that will never even be seen. You can see how perfect it goes back together. So we can remove that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna remove the hardware that's right here, and we can actually remove the front wood here on the front of these. I'm not sure if we're gonna just leave them on the drawers or not, but we'll probably remove the hardware so we can refinish the front. And then this is exactly what was wrong with the drawer. It's missing a screw that holds it all together. So I'm not sure if I'm going to replace these rails or if I can fix them, because I found a whole bunch of parts that are just kind of laying inside the drawer. So it's not very expensive to get new rails. I might just put in some new rails. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards, so it'll open and shut even better than what it is. And then, yeah, that's the next step. So we started by trying to get this out, and it must be nailed in, so I don't want to mess with that. So the good news is I'm going to be able to glue it right into place. The clamps and everything will go right in there. So we'll go ahead and get this glued up, and I can always shoot from behind. We're going to use the pin nailer and get some of those pin nails in there. So how I'm going to do this, I'm just going to use this Type Bond, just original wood glue. And I'm going to kind of pull this apart just a little bit, and there's two little sections that I'm just going to really goop it up. Well, I don't care that much about how much I'm using. I'm just going to use a ton at a time, and then we'll clamp it up and shoot the nails in it. We can always clean this up after. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm just going to put a bunch of this in there, and I'm just going to let gravity kind of pull it in between the cracks all the way down. So you can see it's starting to drip down there. I don't really mind that too much because I'm going to clean that up after, but I really want this to be a good bond. So I'm just kind of make sure that that glue is going to go in every little bit of where it needs to go, if that makes sense. So I'll kind of clean a little bit up so I can see what I'm working on here. So I'm just going to put one of these little clamps on right there. That's holding it really good right now. Then I'm going to shoot a couple of those pin nails into the back here once I get this lined up. So there's that clamp, and I'm actually going to put another clamp on. Let's put this guy on right here so it can bring it up just a smidgen here. Okay. And I'm just kind of filling with my hands to make sure that this is nice and level here. So one is squeezing it together, the other one is lifting it up just a little bit so I can get that perfect where I want it. Okay, let's go ahead and shoot a nail in the back. So I'm going to use this little pin nailer now, and I'm going to come from behind and just shoot in. The thing that's so great about the pin nailer is if I did have to go from the front, you wouldn't even be able to see it anyway. But since I'm able to get behind it, I'm just going to shoot a few from back here. And that should hold that nice and tight into place. And now we'll just let the glue dry. We'll check on it in about 24 hours.
Okay, what we are also going to do is we're going to take this front panel off, as well as these nice little handles. We're going to take them off, and so we can refinish the top part of this panel on all these drawers. As you can see, there are a lot of screws. These are the screws for the handles, and then there are 6 screws, these tiny little ones, that hold the front wood panel onto the drawers. Okay, so as you can see, I went ahead and took out all the screws, and now what we are left with is a top panel that we can now fix up and make look all pretty.
Okay, so it has been 24 hours, and I'm about to take these off, but you can see that what we ended up doing is I've got that glued. We threw those pin nails in there, and then I just did a little slight thing of putty over the top of that I'll sand down to completely hide that crack. And then up on top, we just kind of did some putty to cover up any of the dings or scratches, and then we're going to smooth this all out, and it's going to get a nice paint job. But that is kind of the progress of that. The top of the drawers are in really good shape, or the front of the drawers, so we didn't have to do any work to those. And so we're just going to get ready to do some scuff sanding on those so we can put a new stain on. And kind of the same thing on the sides. This cabinet was in such good shape, we didn't have to do a whole lot to putty anything else up. So it's all looking pretty good. We'll be ready for a nice coat of paint here as the next step. We're going to do some sanding first, and then we'll do some painting. Okay, so this looks pretty bad on the back here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually just take it off. So we just reversed it, and you can see how clean it is on the back side. We're gonna be able to use the exact same screw holes, and it's gonna look perfect on the back. And we'll probably leave this unfinished. So we'll take it off during the painting and staining, and we'll go from there. But I think we're gonna just leave this undone, just unfinished. Okay, so what we need to do, because we're going to restain this outside edge, and we're going to make this a little bit different color. So what we got to do is we've got to take this stain off and get rid of this so we can restain it. So to get into some of these tight grooves, we're going to use just some 20, this is 220 grit, and I'm just going in by hand, and even though it's a little bit time consuming, this actually comes off pretty dang fast. And so this outside edge where we're going to restain this, we can use the orbital sander. But just this right here, you can see I'm just kind of using it by hand because I can get right next to that edge, and I'm able to sand this right off. So what we want to do is we want to take this all off. See how I'm getting down to the wood? We just got to get off the stain so we can restain it. So we are just going to sand all of this down so we can put a new stain on the front of the drawers. Okay, so we got it all sanded down. It's looking really good. Now we're just going to use some denatured alcohol to clean it all up. Then we'll just wipe it all down, but it looks really, really good. It got rid of all of the stain. You want to make sure you wipe it off after every time you sand it. Okay, for the stain, we are going to use the espresso. It's a little bit darker, and we're going to apply it using this foam brush. Now, if it gets to be a little bit too much, we always have a microfiber towel. If you want it darker or whatever, we could always rub it in, or if it's too much, we can rub it off. But we're going to start with just that foam brush, and we're going to start doing the espresso to see if we like that. It's a little bit different shade that was on there a little bit darker, so we're hoping that this turns out really nice. It's going on nice and dark.
I just finished sanding, and now I'm in the process of putting on the painter's tape on this fancy little cross beam on the side. There's 2 of them on in total, so 1 on each side. I'm getting it ready so we can paint it, because I want to paint this a different color than the rest, and so I'm just taping this off so we don't get any paint on this. It's a little bit time consuming, but if you have the patience for it, it's not too bad. So now this side is entirely done. I also went and vacuumed this entire side because I saw a little bit of dust, and you know, dust isn't too good for when you're trying to paint. I think this part, this side, I should say, is done and ready for painting.
We decided to just strip it down, sand it down, and instead of having just plain black, we're going to add a little bit of texture to it. So this Rust-Oleum is really cool. It's a multicolor, but it also has a texture to it. And I don't know if you can see this. It's kind of like a sandy texture to it. So this is kind of like a dark, like a really dark brown, but it's got just a little bit of a texture to it. So we're going to spray paint the corner metal pieces with this. This stuff is really, really cool. Come check out what it looks like after it's on. So it's supposed to have a texture. So just like you see it there, it's supposed to give it this crazy texture. And that's what we're going for. So you see these kind of wavy texture to it. Can't wait for it to dry. Okay, I wanted to show you what we're going to use to paint in. We got this paint tent, and it is really big, and it really does a great job protecting as you're painting. So I will leave a link in the description down below on where we got this tent. So it's 9 feet by 6 feet by like 6.5 feet tall. It does have a door that can come down, but it makes it really, really convenient to paint inside, and you don't have to worry about the wind or dust, things like that. So you can shut the door and paint inside. Also, we just decided to put a drop cloth down so that the overspray wouldn't get everywhere on the ground, just to do an extra protection, but I don't know if it's really needed. So we decided that we did not like the look of the stain after we started working on it. So you'll see here in just a minute, we decided to paint the front of the drawers and the sides of these panels. So we've got this all prepped and ready, and now we're gonna go ahead and paint the front of the drawers. So on the back here, you can see we just kind of taped up the back of the drawers so we don't get any overspray on the back of those. So we're just gonna paint the front and then the edges. So there it is after the first coat. We'll come back after it dries and we'll get another coat on it.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray a clear coat for the finishing coat to help protect them. As you can see, it did a fantastic job. As soon as this is done drying, I'll take it in and we will start reassembling everything.
Okay, we just needed to put the face back on the drawers, and it was actually really easy because we just screwed them all right back in using the exact same screws. You can see how nice and clean everything still looks, and then we just put the hardware back on and they look fabulous. So now we just have to put the drawer rails on. And so there's the brand new rails. We just need to go put those into the cabinet and get everything screwed back together, and this is almost done. Okay, so if you remember back to the start of this project, we had a problem with the rails, and as I pulled them out, they were all just kind of broken. And so what we decided to do is we replaced them. So I will leave a link in the description on the ones that I chose. These are pretty heavy duty, and they should hold a lot of weight, probably way more than you need for this nightstand. But we went ahead and replaced the bottom rails, the top rails. You can see what it looks like here on the drawers. They weren't very expensive, and it was worth making the switch because those other ones were so broken. And it's really simple to install them. You can see there's just a few screws, and then they just screwed right back in to the exact same holes that were there before. So I didn't have to do much measuring or anything. All right, so here's how the drawers work. They're nice and smooth now. You can see how nice they open and shut. They are a great drawer rail. So you can see this one up here, maybe a little bit easier how this one works, and it extends all the way, and then it just goes all the way back in. So really nice rails. So check out how pretty this turned out. We could not be more happy with how it turned out. It is absolutely beautiful because we just left the back plain, but look how nice and clean that looks because we just reversed it, if you remember that. Okay, so there you have it, you guys. What a fun project this was. We really had the best time working on this. We loved working with these different colors and just kind of seeing how things turned out. Not everything turns out the way that you want. We had plans to stain. It didn't take the stain. We didn't like it, so when we repainted it, we were much happier, and it just turned out exactly like we were hoping. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for joining us. If you did like this, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you on the next project.